And you'll see within you, he will fight the battle for you. And he will fight it without, because he will show you how to deal with it. And you will have no fear. Love God with all your heart, all your soul, all your might, along with nothing else. Nothing else means yourself, your children, your wife, your things, your ego, your reputation, and all that. You can't care about any of that. The children of anger will use it to control you. But if you love God, he will renew your mind, and none of those things will be before him. And so when they go after you, oh, well, you may take my body, you may take my things, but you're not going to take my soul. And that's a true reality. I have books that are amazing. I highly recommend you get them. 7 Guaranteed Steps to Spiritual, Family, and Financial Success Guide. Even if you're not starting a business, but you have a job, or you're on welfare, it can help you if you do. Be doers of the word, all right? From rage to responsibility. From rage. That's what I write about in the first chapter, especially how I overcame. Scam. How the black leadership exploits black Americans. They're using them, and blacks are too willing to be used. And then my last book, The Antidote, Healing America from the Poison of Hate, Blame, and Victimhood. They are all amazing books, and they are helpful. Go to rebuildingtheman.com if you want an autographed copy, or call 800-411-2663. Anytime you have situations happening in your life, always be still. Don't overreact. Most of the people that I know, they say, oh, I know Jesus. I love Jesus. I'm an observer. And as soon as something don't go their way, they get mad. I'm like, what the? If you overreact, folks, remember to do that. Don't overreact. And when you get mad, it's your problem. It ain't your wife's problem, your husband's problem, your neighbor, your friend, your preacher, your teacher. It's your problem. Why you think you tick? It didn't go your way or the way you think it should go. Don't have a way you think it should go. Let life just happen. Thoughts make you think that life should go the way you want it to go. And if it doesn't, if someone don't do or say or act the way you think they should act, you hate them. And then you blame them for being mad. It's the darndest thing I ever seen. But it's amazing to see it. So relax. Isn't he Mexican?
Colombian.
He calls himself American.
What is this?
Anchor Baby.
And in this corner, it's the American Anchor Baby.
Daddy's home. That's an offensive term. People find that hurtful.
You mean it's not politically correct? Excuse me. I'll use the word anchor baby. You know, he's an anchor baby in Canada.
Tell him we still rolling with Trump, too.
Anchor baby, the whole thing sounds horrific. You're just making it sound like immigrants are these horrific, greedy people.
Ustedes pueden aceptar mi negocio o aceptar las consecuencias. Plata o plomo.
So you would be considered white, in my opinion.
You the blackest one in this room,
I think so.
And what happened was his mama got pregnant on the other side of the border, and then a few hours before, just before it was time for him to pop out, she jumped across the border and let him fall on America's soil. So he became the anchor baby. They don't call him the anchor baby for nothing. Amazing.
We like this anchor baby, right?
Hello, I'm the American Anchor Baby, and this is my show. Thanks for tuning in on this fine Thursday. What a fine Thursday it is to be back. How you doing, everybody? Nice to see you in the chat. I'm seeing all the people here. Welcome. I do appreciate it. We're about to get into it. Got a bit of a show for you. of course. But first, I just got to welcome everybody here. How you doing? Folks here on rumble.com/American Anchor Baby, punchy.tv/Anchor Baby, and of course here on YouTube. How you doing? Happy Thursday. Little bit of this, a little bit of that. What can I say? I got my eyes on the domestic front today. The serious voice. I got my eyes on the domestic front. And it's a civil war. You know, they like using those words. Okay, if it bleeds, it leads. Okay, let's call it a civil war. We're putting it on the title. But it's interesting. I mean, look, Trump wants to do the right thing. And is revealing all the people who want to keep it wrong. And will be able to do some of the stuff he wants to do. And a number of topics, folks. Scam Bondi, people are calling in about her. Like, she's a scam. She's not doing anything. It's coming down tough on the protesters. They're being arrested. The church people. Is it a civil? Is it a bigger fight? Are we digging our heels? We'll get into all of it. Okay, folks. Is she tough enough to go after Don Lemon, though? I don't know. The man with a husband. Does he have a husband? Does he have a husband? Yes, he does. A spouse, as Google informs me. The man with a spouse. Can the woman under the man? Can the blonde woman defeat the man with the spouse? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know. We'll find out. But look, there's a number of things to get into. Welcome to the show, 888-775-3773. If you got something on your mind, something you want to talk about, something you want to ask, okay. It's something. Ask Kevin. Oh, man. Calm down, chat. Relax. That's not how you say that, Kevin. Just letting loose. Just walk into the American Anchor Baby, and it's just like no rules. Man, we were not cussing. We were saying mildly attractive over there at the Hake Report. And now you walk into the American Anchor Baby. You're like, not even saying hello. Let's turn it to an animal. And let's I'm messing around with you, Kevin. I'm messing around. You know, the decorum that you had in the Hake Report just a moment ago, it's not would you, it's is she mildly attractive or not? Welcome. We're letting loose on Anchor Baby today. It's a loosey-goosey one, folks. We'll be chilling tomorrow in the chill stream, hopefully, for Friday. This will be, I'm looking at you guys in the chat. This will be our show in the chair today for Thursday. And where was I? Look, I was welcoming you. I told you the number. I'm starting to berate you a little bit. Let's just finish that up because we see you. I keep trying to tell you that more people see you than you think. You know, with advantage, you know how people can see you when they're not you, but you can't see yourself. So we see you. We see you, and we're like, is this guy even going to say hello? The normal people here, we're like, is this guy even going to say hello? Is he going to click the like button? Or is he just going to be rude? Hey, do how you want, but I'm letting you know we see you. Thanks for joining. How you doing? Appreciate it, Walker Roscoe. Hey, thanks for another super chat. Thanks for the generosity, sir. Says, greetings from Germany, everyone. Thank you for taking my call regarding NATO last night, Nick. Almost looks like Greenland is in the bag. Have a great show. Broham. Shout out to Brother Derek. Thank you, Walker Roscoe, which I believe might be Rich. That has to be Rich. I mean, he's talking about his call. From Germany, shout out to you, sir. Multiple people actually reached out to me to tell me how much they appreciated your breakdown over there with Greenland and all that. So, yeah, thoughts on where it stands now, Walking Roscoe. Appreciate you being here. Thank you. We've kind of been paying attention to Davos and all that. But where were we here? Look, where were we? Let's pull it all up. Feeling a little loosey-goosey, slow today, taking it easy. But they're not taking it easy like at the front lines. I mean, what do you call it? Minnesota, the front line here at home. Probing. They're probing. So the officials, they're like, you're familiar with the ice raids. You're familiar with the protests. All that is going on. You're somewhat familiar. I sort of mentioned it. Investigating. They're investigating. They're probing, right? So they've been subpoenaed and they're probing. Tim Walz, Jacob Fry, Ilhan Omar. Okay? They're looking into a number of things besides the fraud. They're looking at actual response to the ICE stuff. Okay? That's what this is about. This DOJ probe. Whether they obstructed ICE and essentially, committed some sort of crime, essentially. Okay? The DOJ probe will review whether Minnesota state officials conspired to obstruct justice by preventing federal immigration officers from carrying out their duties. Okay? It's an escalation, right? It's an escalation. So the C word, I'm not trying to be ridiculous. People are just quick to use it, so I guess I'm being a little silly. But yeah, escalating stuff, and these people, as we've seen them out there. Has it escalated like George Floyd? Well, no, not over Renee Good. But the people that are out there, they're like, they're crazy. If they have enough of a crowd, I personally think they're cowards. But, they're willing to get out there in the mix, right? And they got a crowd. They're dangerous. I mean, that's how crowds are, really. Left or right, we've seen it. But anyways, yes, with the people we have seen out there, what I'm trying to say there is they're, committed, right? They're, there for the cause. They're down for the cause. And as the ICE stuff goes, there you go. So can it be said that an escalation on either side, or an escalation of ICE stuff will be an escalation of protests? I mean, is that fair to say? So the officials are being investigated. They're trying to expand to other states. This is Tim Walz. We keep seeing stuff like this. You see this? This actually they're saying this is at his home. Governor Tim Walz yells over a metal gate. Okay, somewhere else I saw that was his home, but okay, maybe it's not. A metal gate like a mental patient implies the U.S. will torture people. So they might as well protest.
Served on the China Commission in Congress, ironically enough, as co-chair with Marco Rubio. We used to bring in Chinese political prisoners, and we would ask them, when we speak up and call out your government, is it bad? And they said, well, in the short run it's bad because they torture us. But if you don't speak up, they will torture us and forget about us. And the idea is right now is we have to be speaking up. We have to call it out. You are doing everything, and our neighbors are doing everything. And I can't stress enough on this. We're winning it because we're doing it with Minnesota grit, Minnesota humor, Minnesota decency. Oftentimes talk about
Seems like a chill crowd. Like
no,
we can't
people
really
discuss this a lot. I spent a lot of time with John Lewis on nonviolent resistance. The resistance matters. We're not telling people to be silent, but we're not telling people to go out and cause problems. We're going to cause.
Is this more of the Minnesota Somalians crowd, or is this Minnesota Moms for Waltz? Which I just don't see the Somalis being part of. Okay, so is he circling the wagons? Don't look over here, please. DOJ. Nobody look over here. Very, very normal behavior. But okay, the big thing is, what will be the response? obviously. Duh, right? How will Trump navigate this one? I mean, that is the question. That's the basic one, right? Like, duh. Recruiters told students that enlisting can lead to green cards for parents. A Minnesota National Guard recruiter told high school students that enlisting could help their parents get a green card. Again, the response is, well, is this all talk? Oh, geez, go away. What is this? A military recruiter sent an email to Minnesota high school students pushing enlistment as a path to accessing an immigration program that could help prevent their parents from being deported. Okay? They emailed 200 of them. A program known as Parole in Place allows undocumented members of military families to temporarily remain in one-year increments. Fight ICE. Wait, what's going on? Am I still streaming here? Uh-oh. Oh, I think we're good here. I'm going to ignore that. Where are we at right now? Look, heating up, right? So they're talking, they're like circling the wagons. They're investigating the officials. The officials are going down there doing the press conferences saying, hey, hands off. This guy sucks. Trump. He's telling people on the streets, hey, protest harder, protest harder. And some of the criticism is, well, nothing's good. Well, what's going to happen here? We talked about this a little bit during Punchy. A lot of people reached out to me about that one too. A lot of we don't see you, Nit. What's going on? We don't see you. We don't see you. One. No, I think you're trolling me. You're trolling me. My chat is trolling me. So you guys like Punchy or what? A lot of people reached out to me on that one. One thing's for sure, y'all were entertained. That's one thing I've heard across the board. Y'all were entertained. So good job, Kurt. I mean, he did set out to do that. He set out to do one thing he told us he set out to do is to get us talking and like punching. So I mean, hey, lives up to the name, no? Right on. Will Trump, is he serious? We were bringing up the media. No, you know what's one the concept that was being brought up is interesting. It's the relationship between the public sentiment essentially and hard action. I mean, that's what Trump has to navigate. Let's just break it down right past to the basics. Trump is having to navigate public sentiment. Now, a lot of people will say, I don't care about such a thing. I voted for such and such and all that. I'd say, that might be a little naive in terms of choosing to ignore this public sentiment that they're having all this fun. Now, this is all in light of, I have this up right now. You're like wondering, why do I have this up? I was about to tell you guys about the $85 billion Trump apportion for ICE with that big, beautiful bill. We went from $6 billion to $85 billion. I think he's going to use it. I think he's serious on it. We'll see. I mean, look, wait and see. It's like, wait and see. He's got it great. He's doing amazing. I mean, but hey, let's continue wait and see it. That's a fine position. But look, $85 billion. I think he's serious about using it. That'll be a bit of a theme. Here's how you know when things are serious: when money and stuff is involved. More on that later. When can you trust something? Well, you could trust people to care about resources, money. That'll come up again. $85 billion for ICE. But he's navigating this public sentiment. I mean, they're out there, right? You've seen it. They're smiling in the faces of comps, thinking like, "What? I'm not touching you. I'm not. And then shot in the face and like, hey, how dare you? What? They're animals. They're like, and this is what I mean by animals. Like, the mass public is so easily cajoled. You know, not like dehumanizing language, but anyways. And so the fight is deepening. Trump budget office orders review of funds to Democratic-controlled states, the so-called sanctuary cities. I mean, how could such a thing exist? But the so-called sanctuary cities going hard, as this reads here, right? No more money for you. But this isn't like tariffs on Europe, you know. I'm not saying I don't support that. I mean, I absolutely support it. Tougher action even. Tougher even on this. But, you know, this isn't like, what's the word? Tariffs on the EU. This is the union, right? Man, the union is corrupt. Man, it's run by literally civilizational enemies. What can I say? Ann Coulter's telling us to rethink Reagan's legacy. This is a chart I feel like I've seen, but it's a fascinating little line, you know? We see a lot of squiggles in life. You know, this particular squiggle, folks, I mean, look. It's, you know, I mean, numbers and squiggles. Look at this story. Look at the, just look at the story. You know what I mean? U.S. illegal crossings along U.S.-Mexico border. U.S. Border Patrol apprehensions of migrant crossings. Migrants crossing the southern border illegally since the fiscal year of 1960. So someone explain, right? 1960, like, what? Okay, so civil rights era. What happened before that? Where does that line go, right? Like, someone showed me the line before this. Does it stay flat? You know, I want to know that story. I feel like I heard it, but I'm just not remembering right now. But where does the line go before 1960, right? Does it stay flat? Does it stay so, or is it so minuscule? Because look at the increments, 200,000, 400,000. Would it be so minuscule that it wouldn't even be a bump on this graph? But you get to, now Ann Coulter, the reason she's sharing this, she's pointing out here we are. 1985, big old red line there. I think she wrote that in. Reagan amnesty. You got a big old spike. Okay, 1.6 million are now crossing at this point. I guess I'll let you pull on that thread on Reagan's legacy. Never really think about Reagan's legacy personally, I must say. I hear one thing I hear. The one thing I hear is total legend, but I mean, he got hoodwinked on the border or something like that. The idea was, we're gonna secure it finally, but okay, we'll work with you. We'll do amnesty. We'll do something. So that's an interesting story. But look at this one. Look at this. Look at this travesty. This giant, just like dwarfing everything. 2.2 million. This is Biden, by the way. 2020. So 2015. Biden, boom, just nuts. What a story. Imagine the undoing of that. Where's Nick's mom fit on that chart? Let me think. It has to be definitely after Reagan amnesty. I don't think she was. They didn't get nothing from. They didn't get. They were illegals. Maybe somewhere here. Oh wait, let me think. You know what I remember? Let me think. Hold on, I'm piecing it together. The lore. Al Gore. Wait, hold on. I'm piecing it together. Did Al Gore run for anything in Florida? In the 2000 presidential election, Al Gore ran for president. Okay, so he ran for president. That's why my mom had an Al Gore sticker on her car. I don't know what to tell you. Look, illegals. Is Al Gore like a who's he against? Oh, it's Bush versus Al Gore. So was Al Gore like the Democrat? Mama anchor baby. See, you gotta be careful with all that. And you amnestied a bunch of Democrats. So maybe around here is the anchor baby. Wait, no. Yeah, around here. Boom. There you go. But imagine undoing this. The work. All right, calm down. She's a decent lady. As my mom. No. I'll kill you. I will kill you for talking about my mother. Sorry. That's like a thing that happens. People do that. Okay. The heating up. There's a little bit of the heat for you, okay? There's a little bit of that heat. I guess we got to end off with this, though. The heat, it's heating up.
Pull out more of a clandestine.
Tell us why you're doing this.
This is operation.
They filmed it in 4K.
Pull out more of a clandestine operation. We show up somewhere that is a key location. They don't expect us to come there. And then we disrupt business as usual. So that's what we're about to go do right now. Demanding justice for Renee Good and letting them know.
So the story is Nekima Levy Armstrong. Nekima, how do you say that? That could be Nekima. Or am I tripping? Levy. Where'd you get Levy from? Feds announce arrest of Nekima Levy Armstrong after church protests scam Bondi. She's like, this, you know what, girl? You're going to jail. You can't bully us. You can't bully Christians. You can't bully people. This is a crime you committed. FBI Director Kash Patel made the announcement on social media, stating Levy Armstrong was taken into custody on Thursday morning. Says Levy Armstrong is accused of violating the FACE Act, federal law that makes it illegal to use force against, obstruct, or seek to intimidate anyone in a place of worship or in a reproductive health clinic. Similar things, right? America, churches, and Planned Parenthoods. That's the FACE Act, okay? Governance is for all Americans, both kinds of Americans. The God-believing, the church-going Americans, and I don't know how else to put it. The FACE Act. I didn't know that about that. Short time, U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi announced the arrest of Chantel Louisa Allen, served on the St. Paul School Board, an educator of the children, and was also involved in the church protest. Patel and Bondi indicating more arrests are coming. Are they tough enough to go after Lemon? I don't know, right? Because he's like proto-media, even though he's not in CNN anymore. Different class, you know. It's like, whoa, man, you're going to now rally those types. Newsoms and like, this is like, wow. I mean, look, you're looking at him. That's what you're looking at him. You're looking at him. That's Chantel and Nekima. Not always. Sometimes you can fool them with the outward appearance, but the outward, sometimes it aligns, you know? Nasty inside and out. Incredible. These are always like the foot soldiers, no, of this stuff. Running through the institutions. Who will do it, right? Who will go through the institutions, making Christians kneel? Who will do it with a smile? It's like ugly, like freak people. But anyways, that's low hanging fruit. Will Bondi do it? Will Bondi do it, folks? One's in the chat. Is she going after Lemon? You filmed it in 4K. Who was calling me? Who was saying, "Hey, if Pam Bondi doesn't buy this week, what did they say? What was the claim?" Chat, anybody remember? Someone called me. They were like, "If Pam Bondi doesn't what? By when? And what is she?" Well, no, it's a farce. Okay, so you get it. They went to the church and not getting arrested. Call it heating up, though. Call it domestic rifts heating up. I don't know. One thing here on the international stage. I saw Putin here. It's kind of funny. Made me like him, I got to say. Made me like him all that much more. Putin. Vladimir Putin. To the German delegate. Wait, hold on. Let me pull this up. Hold on. Okay. Apologies there. This made me like him. Look. He's talking to the German delegate. Okay, I'll just tell you what they translated, so we'll just watch. He's talking to the German delegate over here at the oh no, sorry, this is not at Davos, but he's talking to a German delegate. Oh no, this is at Davos. Yes, this is in fact at Davos, according to the AP. Talking to this German delegate. Watch this. Oh, hold on.
You're representing the Federal Republic of Germany. You should speak German. Why are you asking me in English? Think about your sovereignty. Oh. Don't you have translation from German? Well, come on.
Is he just throwing blows at America here? You know, just across the bow. Hey, EU. Hey, Germany. You don't need America, right? Because they're feeling all bold. They're feeling all bold right now. United Front. Sunglasses, Macron. United Front. No, you can't take Greenland. Okay, we'll do a deal with you, Mr. President. And, you know, you could do whatever you want there. So whatever, Mr. Putin, but I do like him, though, for it. It's like he shows me he's the kind of guy that gets it. Talk about, call it real, right? Real versus ego. You know, realities, language, peoples, their ethnic and religious affiliations, oil. The rule or the rules-based order and racism and historic meaning like 150 years ago. Historic brotherhoods, how dare you? It's like Trump's like, but if it came down to it, will you guys be there for us? I don't think so. It's just take. And so I do see Putin as someone that gets it, right? Because it's pretty easy. You hear it from Washington. You'll hear it from commenters and all that on the right wing. And it's just like, Putin's an idiot. Putin's just a warmonger. It's just like barbarians out there in the snow. I see what's the word? Respect has to come into play where it's due. You know what I'm saying? It has nothing to do with being weak or anything. It's called respect, right? Anyways, I just liked it too. I just liked them telling the Germans, hey, speak German, speak your language. What's going on? You guys, you know, they're like, I hear terrible things. The Germans, like, I've just been like gutted. You know, I'm talking about the cultural stuff. Like, you can't say you love being German and I haven't been there, but look, just think about how it is in America. And so I've been told that it's like that, just really cranked up. I mean, they were the Hitler people, right? So you can imagine what may be going on I hear about it. I don't know. But look, they're like, you guys, out of Germany came Hitler, so you must pay. You must pay forever. And he's like, Germany,
You should
speak your language, man. Care about you, take your side. Hey, I think he's playing a little I think he's playing a little world politics here. You know, digs at America. Don't listen to Germany. Don't get charmed by Russia. You're historically Germany. You are to be the gateway to Europe. Okay, you have a job in Germany. You have a job in Europe, Germany, and Trump is trying to tell y'all you're not doing it. He's like, but NATO, we have all these documents, but what are you doing, bro? Germany, you're the gateway. You're the gateway. At least that's what it doesn't quite look it here. Okay, I think there maybe used to be different borders, folks. Germany used to be bigger, but yeah, that was their job. Just kind of checking Russia. That's Germany's historic role. Come on, man. But anyways.
Speak German. Why are you asking me in English? Think about your sovereignty. Oh. Don't you have translation?
Even Putin isn't safe from snake pit. You guys got the snake pit. What do you mean by, first of all, explain that one. Even Putin isn't, what do you guys got to say about Putin? You guys think you guys could get him to respond? If he was on a call with Jesse, you guys think he'd be watching the chat? And he'd be like, by the way, to the chat, I just want to say this to the chat. Suka. Brini suka no. To the chat, F you. What do you got? What do you got for him, huh? Unload. Where's your salvo, Cloud Bops? You guys got so happy with yourselves earlier on the JLP show. You guys literally were the snake pit. They were literally so amused with themselves. It was the caller's fault for reacting, but you guys were literally so happy when that caller reacted on the JLP show. Like, you guys were just so amused with yourselves. It's like, duh. It's the snake pit. But hopefully some of you were reflecting like, look at my behavior right now. We are amused. Never change. We funny, bro. It was his fault for reacting. But what about you? Like, it's about you. What's your own view of yourselves? I'm saying if, alias. Great. Now Nit is turning on us like, hey, guys, what do you mean? Oh, I think he came up with Snake Pit, no? The Snake Pit. We love the Snake Pit. Okay. But why did I want to break you guys? I think I already did. Look, it's a loosey-goosey one, folks. I'm braiding my chat. Oh, yeah, this does really... I can't segue here. Where was I? I was going on something. Putin, the German delegates. He's like, take your side. Or, I mean, just speak German. Maybe I don't quite remember. But check this out. The Black Panthers. I feel like there was a segue somewhere.
For illegals. Our stance is, for illegals. We're not going to step in front of that. That's not our fight. That has nothing to do with us. We're not going to step into that fight.
Oops. I'm trying to play this. Jeez. Okay, let me just play it, Elon Musk. Come on.
Our stance is, for illegals. We're not going to step in front of that. That's not our fight. That has nothing to do with us. We're not going to step into that fight and going through the community defending somebody that we didn't even want to be here.
Why'd you even bring us here? I feel like I've heard this before. People are sharing this, like they're turning on the Democrats. They're taking their own. That's what the segue was. They're taking their own side. Are black people waking up, taking their own side here? You know, these illegals, I don't know. You know, these illegals, we're not getting in that fight. We're not supporting them. I heard people calling JLP shows saying stuff like that. Blacks are not protesting or doing anything with this ICE stuff.
In front of.
I mean, I guess you could look at videos and you'd see a mixture of people. But this is a sentiment I've heard. I gotta say, when I was out there at the doing Man on the Street on Hollywood with Jesse, black people, just in terms of I forget if it came up. I think it came up a little bit. Generally, we're like about Mexicans and like Hispanics and immigration. I think that came up. They're like, we don't care about that. When I was out there with Derek, filming different things, we were filming some ICE stuff, I think, like protests or whatever. There were some black people there just kind of watching. We interviewed them. Multiple people said, yeah, we're staying out of this. We don't care about this. And that definitely gathered a animosity or something like, you know, that's Mexican people. We're black. That's their fight. And not only we don't like the fight a bit,
you know,
and like this guy saying we don't even want him here.
That has nothing to do with us. You know, we're not going to step into that fight and going through the community defending somebody that we didn't even want to be here. Our stand.
This does bring up that whole like black monopoly that votes for Democrats, right? I don't know how people get so high and mighty and call me. They're like, any little thing on the right, some splintering or something, like, ha. You guys literally vote 90% Democrats, like, for a long time, and they don't give up. They don't care at all. Just pawns. I mean, that's how it is, though. But anyways, folks, what are y'all saying here? What makes you say that, Francisco? They acting like whites. What makes you say that? Hey, thanks for the support. Appreciate the coffee, someone. Lori. Wow, Eric, look, we'll get to all of you. We're going to get to everybody. 888-775-3773. Yeah, big time. That is very generous. I appreciate that. That's awesome. Okay, Rumble, thank you so much for the support there as well. Thank you, Jules. Very nice. Lori, thank you for the coffee. Says, hey, Nick, as I watched Punchies yesterday, I was judging Kurt and Derek. When you asked a caller if he had something to really say or was he just calling to attack, I felt corrected by you, and the thoughts left me. Thanks for being a light, Nick. Real men are strength. Thank you, Lori, for the support. Yeah, I don't know if I remember. I was like, hey, you just attacks. And I don't think that did anything, Lori. I don't think that did anything. But thank you for supporting. I'm sure the authority will come. But thank you for the support, Lori. Thank you, someone. That's a lot of coffees. That's a whole bunch of coffees, and I thank you for that. But, Lori, why were you judging Kurt and Derek? Yeah, someone else called me. They were judging him. We gotta have a little patience. You were you not entertained? We gotta watch the talking over maybe, because you lose the point. You lose. Okay, we're having fun. We're having a discussion. Cool dynamic. Yes, we're disagreeing, but I want to follow along. Just a little bit of that, right, folks? But we even like that caller, Lori. We should just let people like act foolish, offend, talk over, and just watch them act that way. It'll be a far more edifying experience than literally anything else you could do. I gotta say, thank you, Lori. Thank you all the support, everybody. Appreciate that. Okay, folks. I was looking at real things, okay? Versus fake things, so to speak. You've heard it debated over time. It's like topics like climate change. I mean, let me back up. This week we spent a bit like talking about, so to speak, real things. Oil, power, imbalances, the true motivations of a nation, of a person, okay? And there's always talk, and then there's like the action and like what people really want, okay? There's like let me try and think of an example. You know, a stated stance, like we believe it, like America, we believe in the sovereignty of nations, etc., rules-based order, but you're actually operating abroad with care of your interest, of America's national interest. And I'm trying to describe, I'm trying to paint the picture of how real things, it doesn't have to necessarily be the truth. I'm talking about just like real physical things will really, they're the ones, those real things are the real things with gravitational pull that pull the world around. And then some people would think the world is like isms and like, these like, when your government tells you, hey, we're fighting for democracy. And I don't know, I'm not explaining that well. But look, I can express it like this. Consider climate change for a moment. And Greenland and the Arctic Circle. Okay, that's been a topic. The reason is, and I see this everywhere, for whatever however you approach this topic of climate change, are the ice caps melting and the water's going to rise and it's going to be catastrophic, the end of the world? It's all a hoax. It's like, yeah, there is clear, measurable weather changes over time, etc. Does it mean catastrophic end of the world? I mean, however you approach it, climate change seems to have brushed up right against geopolitics, national security, oil and energy, the national interests of nations with money and people, lives, their own agendas, and their willingness to die, or at least send people to die, and spend this money and all that, and these resources, the willingness to fight over these resources. Climate change has, met the border of those things I'm talking about. Essentially, let me pull it up for you here. Now, this is over a proposed hold on here. Where's my stuff? Let me search it up. Okay. The idea is that over the next coming years, a whole bunch of ice is going to be melting over there, allowing for a far more transportation, way more shipping routes, and all sorts of activity in this Arctic Circle around Greenland and all that. which is this northern route to every other nation. It's a northern route for missiles, for ICBMs, all sorts of things, trading and everything in between. So it seems like everything from ExxonMobil, right? What's that company? You know, the big oil companies, Exxon, Mobil, and Russia, and China. The U.S. What was I thinking of? State Department. Look, the U.S. government. Fine, put it like that. They're all saying, yeah, this is happening, and we're putting in hella money to this. Our eyes are on this. Trump's like making a big stink on the world stage about it. People are like, did he just turn the world against us? Like, what did he make? Like, it's like still the topic. And on top of all that, they're putting their money where their mouth is, right? So, you know, it's just an interesting thing, right? Like, for all the, call it fog around a topic such as climate change, the people here who care about resources, right? They're putting their money where their mouth is. They're saying, yes, this ice is melting. This is what's happening. That's not me saying, guys, I think climate change is real. It's like, I'm not saying anything. I've never really had a stance on climate change. I've always thought we should be clean. We should care about our earth. I remember years ago, just a long time ago, seeing Buddy's litter. That just always stuck with me. He called the city, this is the garbage. I never forgot that. I don't know why I never forgot that. I always thought I was wrong. It's like, this is, he was throwing some cigarette pack. So just smashing it. And he's white. He was white, man. A German. No less. And a German Canadian. And he's like, this is the trash can, man. I'm like, I guess. It's a matter of mentality, bro. But, where was I? You see this? It's like I never had a mentality about it. I think we should be clean. You care about stuff. The big criticism, the big problem with it all is like this religion behind it. Environmentalism. We have to completely suicide. Let's be clean, right? No. It's not just being clean. No. There needs to be less people on the planet. And really, let's be real. It's white people that there needs to be less of. That's the whole thinking of this stuff. And not only that, economically and politically, we have to chain up. This religion has to grow so big that we can chain up and gunk up the political, economic situation of the West, of the Western countries. Because they'll protest, they'll throw oil on the paintings. And what do the people do? Like, it's just another one of those things, you know. Either you just don't want to fight it, you're part of it, or there's nothing you could do because your government supports it. And they're supporting these agreements that ties up the nations, the West. It puts caps on energy production, puts caps on everything, puts caps on living, puts caps on life in the Western nations. So that's really kind of like the criticism of this environmentalism and all that. Never really had a stance on climate. It's a hoax, a total hoax. Never really had a stance on that. But it is quite fascinating to me when something like this, right, brushes up against the borders of this reality, of the realities of geopolitics, money, oil. Greenland's ice sheet, covering about 80% of the island, is one of the largest on Earth. Critical indicator of global climate change. It's been losing mass at an accelerating rate since the late 20th century, primarily due to rising air, ocean temperatures. You know, it's an interesting thing. Personally, I like climate change. I mean, think about it. More land, bigger crops. You know what I'm saying? It's not a concluded thing. It's not a concluded thing. And that was part of the climate change criticism too. It was this scientific consensus, right? It stood, any argument, debate over the topic stood on this like amorphous scientific consensus. And it was like, it's like a religion. you're a climate change denier. Should you say otherwise? It's like, okay, well, I'm not denying climate change. Fine, Greenland is melting. Russia and the U.S. and the oil people, the people with money, and they're saying, yeah, I mean, we want to trade through this, and we want to be there first. It's happening. I'm just saying, I think it's a good thing. That's right. No, I'm a climate change denier. No, I think melt that. We don't need ice. We need more land, more arable land, more farmland. It'll be great. You don't know if it's bad. There used to be far less ice, I heard, all over the planet. So, you know, the real stuff. It's a fascinating little picture there. The ice sheets melt is amplified by feedback loops, such as reduced albedo. What? Where darker exposed areas absorb more heat, and warmer ocean waters. Amazing. I mean, I don't see these people selling up oceanfront property, but those routes are probably opening up. So, interesting stuff. I think we can maybe just look at the moves in the Arctic Circle. Like, don't look at climate scientists. Who cares about them? Look at what governments are doing, what the oil companies are doing, what the trade, the port builders and the trade routes, and even the like real estate developers. Just let's look at them. Okay, don't worry about climate change scientists. Never listen to them ever again. Your new climate change scientists are real estate developers, world governments, right? Okay. That's who it is. Strange. Hey, what's up, Uncle Buckus? Thank you for the support. Thank you, Alias. How you doing? Welcome. Appreciate it. So climate change is somewhat real, right? Duh. Alrighty, folks. The problem is there's no control to test what Earth would be like without humans. You guys feel like there should be less people? I heard that growing up. There should be less people. Thormo gets it. I don't know. I also heard there's a lot of space. I hear there's a lot of room. Even Bill Gates said to stop tripping. Oh, yeah, I remember that. Bill Gates climate change. Oh, yeah. His stunning claim. Stunning. Absolutely stunning. Resources must be shifted away from the battle against climate change. Right on, Bill Gates, I guess. Oh, man. So anyways, you could just skip the line. Does anybody even consider this? Is this something you would even think? Would you ever even think this to yourself? Do you know anybody who would think this to themselves, let alone say it out loud and act it out? Could you gather a group out of the people you know? Are you able to gather a group of 10, 5 people? I wonder.
Why do they have lines? Why they in lines? You can literally skip the line and get the train. What the hell? They're all in a line. You can literally just go straight to the door, bro. What the hell? Why are you all in lines?
It's so silly.
Look at them.
You can't understand.
You just go in the train. I don't even want to go in the train. oh, this life is corrupted. Everyone's in a circus. Look, they're all in a line, one by one, waiting to.
Well, on that one, I appreciate his breaking the matrix there, I guess, right? I'm an individual. He's a strong individual, right? I guess you could maybe appreciate that. Is this radical individualism? Is this that radical individualism I hear about? I mean, that's probably why. That's probably partly why. How do you put it? Yeah, why blacks are cool, essentially. How else do you put that? Yeah, that's why people like them and they're cool or whatever. It's like they're independent. They're like, or at least ostensibly, right on the surface. It's like, look at what everybody else is doing. I'm gonna do it different, and that's just a fact, right? Like, I think that's why the culture, right, the black culture, whatever. I mean, I swear I was just saying some random, like some random lyrics, and it was like it was just some random lyrics, and Kurt's like, oh yeah, that's that album of that rapper. I'm like, look, I'm not saying that's that uncommon, but you gotta, it fits what I've been trying to tell y'all. Everyone has shifted blackward. You understand? Like all the generations, even if they're not like into rap, even if the younger generations they're just like, they're a black word shift. There's a black word shift in their language, behavior. You know, I think it speaks to like a, call it a monopoly. I don't know, a dominance in culture, despite their low, what's the word? Their low fraction of the population. They say 13%. Okay, 13%. They dominate culture, and people love it, right? They want to say the words. That's just a funny side note, I guess. But listen, spent too long on the tangent. Look, call it the socialism of the people here. He can't comprehend. Why are people in a line? He's like, oh, I wonder. He can't. That's not a question. A question he does not even stop to even ask ever once is, what if everyone acted like me? I'll tell you not right now. It's not a question that he's ever wondered.
Why do they have lines?
What if we stopped lines and everybody just acted like me? Oh, he can't comprehend it. The English invented the cue. I've heard that before, John Gray. I've heard that the English invented the cue, which is British for line, like a lineup where you line up like a queue, Q-U, right? Q-U. Q-U-U-E-U-E-U-E-U, right? Q-U-E-U-E. Q-U-E-U-E. Q.
Q.
Line up for the queue. And if they invented it, this is poetry in motion is what we're watching. If that's true. Look at what you invented. Look at what you hold dear. I will laugh at it. I don't even know if maybe he's like British, born and raised, British parents. I don't know. I don't know, folks. But in America, I think we have anchor baby generations where it's like, yeah, at this point, we have like multiple generations of America haters. So I don't know if that means much. Born and raised British. So yeah, imagine for a second, everybody acted like him. He will take the I heard someone say it like this. They will take the beautiful oak doors of your church, rip them off, and burn them in a bonfire. Use it as fuel. What a mess. What a mess. Now, why do I have this in my packet? I mean, I kind of know. I'm trying to remember what past Nick was doing here. Because I don't know why it's related to the subway thing, but it is related to a changing Britain. And check this out. Keir Starmer blocked a ban on cousin marriage. Okay? That's essentially what it is right there. I'll just let you watch. I mean, this came up in there. I don't know I forget what they call it. Is it like a House of Parliament like Canada? imagine it's like the House over here in the U.S. And he brings that topic up. One of these people here, call it a representative or something, member of parliament, I don't know. He gets up expressing like the point of the bill.
A marriage between first cousins carries significant health issues, many of which aren't even knowable until post-birth. When practiced generation after generation, there is a significant multiplier effect. In addition, the real impacts for the openness of our society and women's rights in our country are also significant. After all, there are significant dynamics in sharing a same set of grandparents. On Friday, this government has a choice to let my bill go through to ban first cousin marriage to committee stage. Will the Prime Minister think again before instructing his whips to block this legislation?
Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, we've taken our position
Here, Prime Minister.
on that bill. Thank you.
You're watching tradition, folks. He just said.
Taken our position on that bill. Thank you.
That completes Prime Minister's questions.
We've already taken our stance. I tried looking that up. Okay, so apparently, a private member's bill introduced by Conservative MP, so a member of Parliament, Richard Holden, aimed to prohibit marriages between first cousins, citing health risks. Because, by the way, elephant in the room. Why are they coming up with a bill to ban first cousin marriage? Because first cousin marriage is currently legal. It's a known thing. This is actually common. It's rare overall, but far more common in British Pakistani communities. Oh, let me get a source on that. The controversy flared up. I had this from earlier. The controversy flared up with debates in Parliament and Prime Minister's questions. Starmer acknowledged the risks, saying first cousin marriages are high risk and unsafe. We see the genetic defects it causes, the harm that it causes, but he refused to back the bill or allow it to progress fully, responding curtly in one exchange. We've taken our position on that bill. So, yeah, think about that. The Born in Bradford Project, a large-scale birth cohort study focused on the health in diverse populations in the area in Britain. That study found around 60 to 62% of Pakistani heritage mothers reported being in consanguineous, I don't know how to say that.
Consanguineous.
Oh, that was loud. Consanguineous marriages, relating or denoting people descended from the same ancestor. There you go. And that is actually a reason why. I mean, look. Number one, why wouldn't that's an easy one, right? Layup, right? Easy layup. Everybody agrees. Okay, we're not marrying cousins. We never did that. I don't know why this is legal. I mean, we have. In the world I grew up, we all were born in this world, right? Like, I've lived these years. Old people older than me, or even older than them, they're like, we don't make babies with cousins. And that's the world we grew up in, okay? This is a layup. The only reason it's not a layup is because of demographics, immigration. Because not everyone in Britain, because there's a significant amount. It's essentially like this. There's a significant enough of cousin marriers that you just can't ban it. That's it. I don't know. That's just obvious, right? That's just obvious. And that's just a fact about demographics. What can I tell you? 888-775-3773. How y'all doing, callers? How about we show some love to the calls? John out of Houston, Texas. How you doing, sir? You're on the air.
Okay, I'm ready. Thanks for taking my call.
Of course.
I had talked to JLP. He told me to think about what I'm not. I don't know if you saw that call, but
I did.
He told me to think about what I'm not. So then I started thinking about, wait, what is God not? Have you ever thought about that?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Yeah, I
Think
think I
about it.
have.
We say God, like that's just exactly what he isn't. Think about that. That's deep.
Help me understand.
God is just a word that serves us. That's why we use that word. But he's not just that. He's not just that word, but we literally call him God.
I'm not following. Try again.
What did he say his name was? I am, right?
I forget. God said that?
It's
Like in the
written
Bible?
it's written down in the Bible that, yeah, so I mean, even that, he's not even that. But I was just thinking, like, because I'm realizing I'm not helpless, you know, I'm not afraid, I'm not terrorized, I'm not terrorized, I'm not all those things. And I'm a person that makes proper, and I'm a person that I make proper judgments, you know, I make proper judgments. But to just say, to look up there and say, God, I mean, and he's not the Father, he's not the Son, you know, he's not God, he's not, those are just what we
So
have to cling on to.
So you've told me God is not a few things. He's not the Son, he's not the Father. He's not God, at least how we use that word. And what else? You also said that things that you are. You said you are a good decision maker?
I make proper judgments, and I said I'm not a terrorizer. I'm not terrorized, I'm sorry.
You're not terrorized, and so what does that mean? What does you're not terrorized mean?
When I'm being exposed to like terrorism, like 9/11, and basically I'm being exposed to suicide bombers in the news, and even if I was in person exposed to a terrorizer, a terrorist person, I'm still, that's not who I am, as I'm not terrorized. So like, you know how we say Jesse flipped it for me, because, you know, I was saying, oh, I'm out of control and angry like my mother. That's what I am. No, Jesse told me, hey, don't say, like, think about what you're not and deal with it. And then deal with life. And so if I'm thinking about, yeah, go ahead.
No, finish your statement, please.
So I'm thinking so dealing with life, I realized, wow, I've been trying to deal with life thinking about God. Just thinking about God. And I do evil, and I have the thought, well, he is God. And I do try to do good, and I'm just thinking about he is God, so I kind of get let down later.
So you understood, you were like, to just live. What were you just saying? Repeat that part again about just living.
No, I can't repeat it.
That's okay. And how did you set out to do that? After your call with Jesse, you went off and did what? You started thinking about God. That's what you said. You said, I went on and dealt with life. That's what you said. You finished the call with Jesse. You're thinking, I got to deal with life. And so how'd you do that? How'd you deal with life?
I finished the call with Jesse, and I I was thinking, yeah, I'm out of control and angry like my mother. But you know what? Thinking about it, I'm not learning how to deal with life thinking about it, but I'm learning how about myself. I'm still learning about myself. And that's kind of the problem. That's so deep, but that's me learning about myself. I'm just judging myself.
And what's the problem?
I'm learning about my own ways. It's very depressing, and it's very demoralizing. But when I sit, and I'm just going out of control, and I'm going angry.
Sounds like you're not getting anywhere. I'm not sure exactly what you're describing, but to me, it just sounds like that. It sounds like an exhausting cycle. Now, I don't know if this is what's happening, if I'm misunderstanding you, but from what I'm hearing, it sounds like an exhausting cycle. I'm not surprised that you would be that you're exhausted from going back to the thoughts over and over again. Is that what you're doing? You keep going back to, you said, I'm dealing with life by thinking about God and thinking about myself and thinking about my mom and thinking about how I'm just like her and thinking about, is that what you're doing? Or am I getting you wrong?
What I'm doing is learning myself, learning my ways, and it's not accomplishing anything. It's just going back to thoughts.
And so you said you're learning did you learn your ways? Did you learn what's going on with you?
No, I mean, I've, had some things going on with me, but that was a long time ago, and I've been learning my ways and thinking and getting depressed.
I'm remembering a little bit of what Jesse was kind of telling you when you were saying, I am just like my mom, out of control or something. I remember him telling you, asking you, why do you just keep saying that? And if I remember this correctly, I mean, you kept going back to that same thought when it's like if you're working on yourself, you should know a little bit better, right? It's like, okay, fine. My mom's a certain way. I forgive her. I'm not thinking about that anymore. I don't need to be like her.
Right. It's interesting. When you learn more about yourself, you're going to keep learning even more about yourself. And there's always something new to come in there and learn about. And then you got to pretend to fix it, but you can't.
But you already learned this one. You're going to keep learning. There may be things you have yet to discover, deeper layers, things that will open your eyes. It's like, wow, I can't believe I didn't see that before. But on I'm acting crazy like my mom. That when I'm trying to express that, it's like that one's already done. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to. You've been saved from that one. You saw you're acting crazy like your mom. You're done with it now. It's time to move on. Or does that make no sense? There's no more to learn.
That doesn't make sense.
You got it.
But, that doesn't make sense because you have to start dealing with life instead, right?
Uh-huh. Do you feel like you're not?
Yeah, that doesn't have anything to do with that, though. Being out of control and acting like my mom.
Fair enough.
That's not that. I think what, though, it started it was God. Just having, something to cling on to that'll save me. Which is not God himself, as I've, because I like God and I do what Jesus says, but that's not going to necessarily stop me from doing this other thing, which is learning about myself and judging myself and thinking, because going back, God, I can do something totally crazy and think of God.
So then maybe
Because-
you're not thinking of God.
And
Maybe
you're
the
not
thinking's the
thinking of
issue.
God.
You're saying I'm doing crazy things, but I'm thinking of God while doing it, right? You're saying?
Well, that's not, yeah, I mean, I kind of have, like, gone insane a little bit.
Are you praying? Are you doing the silent prayer?
I'm supposed to be doing it. No.
I'm not sure.
kind of gone insane
I'm
a
not sure
little
how
bit.
else to. I'm not sure what much else to say to you, personally. Because it's like I'm trying to do the same things, man. I've just got a few tools. I pray morning and night, and I'm paying attention and the thoughts, right? I really don't have much else for you. And part of this conversation is one that you were having with Jesse. So please, by all means, continue it with him. Tell him what you. I don't think you even came up with one. Did you even come up with a single thing? He told you, find out what you're not. Have you found out did you say in this conversation a single thing you're not?
Right, I'm not terrorized. I'm not.
Oh yeah, that's
I'm
right.
not anything. I'm not anything at all.
But you say you're not terrorized, yet you're full of fear.
No, I'm fine.
Okay, good. It sounded like you were full of fear, but man, part of this conversation when you had with Jesse, by all means, continue it. But I mean, what else can I say, right? I mean, we're in my opinion, unless we're talking about something else, this conversation has been a conversation about the mental, that like mental spiritual battle. And there's not many tools I can say on that besides either you're going to go deeper into them or you're going to watch it and have that discipline on that. Like, I'm going to pray.
The tools that Jesse gave me was, what are you not? Instead of thinking, what are you?
Right, and you told me a bunch of things that you are. I mean, you did tell me you're not terrorized, but I don't even understand that one.
It's, well, like, I'm just using, because
Do you
the
have
news
fear?
in the world, there's a lot of bad, there's a lot of, like, fake news that tries to get you to believe it. And you might,
For
like,
sure. Absolutely.
you know. And so, you know, at some point, you have to start thinking about what, but it doesn't matter.
No, at some point, you just tired of doing the same thing and going back to the same vomit. It sounds exhausting. You sound exhausted in this call, going back to thoughts, so confused. That sounds exhausting. Let me think again about my mom. Let me think again about me. So at some point, you maybe get sick of that and stop. But hey, John,
I know, but I know. I'm not scared though. Right? I'm not scared. I'm not exhausted. Right?
I could be
I sound
characterizing you wrong a
exhausted.
little bit, but John, man, we spent plenty of time here. Anything else you want to speak on here? If there's, is there something else you want to say here, quick? Before
I
we move
just
the
really
wheels?
wanted the call to go quick. I didn't mean the call to go that long.
No. It's totally fine. I'm the one running that, so that's all me. So you don't worry about that. I'm simply
so I'm not-
opening it up because now we're not saying much. So, but maybe there's one thing we want to say. If not, let's move the wheels.
Okay, I'm not holding you up. Right.
Sir, John, can you call me again?
Yes, thank you.
Take care. 888-775-3773. Let's see here. What are y'all saying? Let's see. We got William number 7 on the air out of California. How you doing?
Hey there, Nick. Can you hear me all right?
You're coming in clear.
Thanks for taking my call. Hey,
No problem.
just a couple thoughts came to mind with that last caller. And these are just my thoughts, not saying they're right or wrong. But he did mention he was depressed when he looked about who he is, like his dad, angry. And I get that because that's what I was too. I realized because of JLP that I was getting angry. So I think fear is what brings anger, because why would you get angry unless you're afraid of something going down or something happening? So, and I would say the opposite. If you're going to be depressed, then that means you can't do nothing about it. Yet you can. So I would say you get to that state of depression when you're not willing to do what's right and not willing to, and I don't mean to say fight as in fight, but the scriptures say that the cowardly will not inherit the kingdom of God. So we should not be afraid of what others will do or say or think, because if you just do what's right, God will always have your back. And that is what Jesus did when he said, "Me and the Father are one," when the Spirit of God was in him during his ministry, when after the baptism of John the Baptist in, I think it was in the, Jordan River. And then I'm also reminded of Revelation chapter 3, verses 21 and 22. It was actually on a stone outside the church I go to sometimes. And it said that Jesus said, if you knock, I'll come in and sup with you. And then if you overcome like I overcame, then, and I think it says you'll have eternal life, or I will. But basically it's saying Jesus told us he wants us to overcome as he did, which would make Jesus not God, but the true messenger of God instead of Satan being the liar. So I would say, and that also supports the fact that you guys opened my eyes to Jesus not being God, but the true messenger of God, to repent and to overcome the world, sin, and therefore death in that final resurrection when the end of days come.
All right, William. I hope that helped. He said he had no fear, so I'm not sure. And that's
not
any
no
shade.
fear.
That's just I require to help. I mean, I felt like I just offered no help, so I was like, "Hey, man, I wish you well, man. I feel like I'm not helping at all. If I don't understand what you're saying, I feel like I can't be of any help."
Yeah, and I was trying to make a delineation.
There's no shade, but anyways, yeah, it's not clear to me that that's what he was saying. But go ahead. What'd you call it about?
Well, yeah, he did say he was depressed. It's depressing, and you get it. And I know JLP understands it. Anything you overcome, you have understanding because you went through it and you overcame it, regardless of what it is. And we have many things to overcome, both mind and body and spirit. But I would say that that's where God is so patient and men aren't and people aren't, is that God, he knows your heart, that you're really trying. That's why King David was a man after God's own heart. He wasn't perfect, but he was always learning and willing to say, "Hey, I was wrong. Forgive me, Father." And he would ask for forgiveness. You only can ask for forgiveness if you know you're wrong and if you know you were violating God's law. And the only way that's going to happen is if you're not full of pride and you're humble, regardless of how old you are and what you do in life. And that's why God says he'll forgive anybody. It has nothing to do with your works, as in, I'll forgive the plumber, I'll forgive the gardener, and I'll forgive the king, regardless of what position you are, your lot in life, or your money you have. He will forgive the soul and the person who truly wants to do what's right, regardless of their position on this earth. I think
Do you have to
that's
change?
what he meant. What's that?
Do you have to change? Is that one of the requirements?
You will change. Not that you have to. You will change, because that's what God's in the business of doing. That's what the whole redemption story was all about. So yes, you will change.
All right, William, what'd you call it about?
You will change. That was it. So peace out, everybody.
Oh, you called it about that.
and,
My apologies. I thought it was about something else.
Oh, yeah, and there was an email. I forgot. Well, because, I was listening to your conversation and I was paying attention. And so I forgot about the ICE thing. Nick said he sent it, or Derek said he sent it to you in the radio email. And I was in a small town, and it had a sign, and it was about ICE. And I thought it was fascinating that it was a little town out in the middle of nowhere. And I thought it was interesting. I took pictures of mine, and I took whose truck it is, but I couldn't. So I just took some photos and thought it was interesting that in that town, they were still listening to what everyone was saying.
Yeah, it looks like some signs on top of some guy's truck, and it reads, "Next military conquest, Venezuela." It says done, and it's scratched out. Colombia next? ? Iran next ? Mexico next? Greenland next? I don't understand. Is this sign supposed to make me hate Trump or something? I'm like, oh wait, those are all theaters of possible conquest. I mean, it's Trump forever.
Yes.
This sign is making me love him. Yeah, yes, Colombia.
Then,
all nations are on notice. You say what?
I didn't see that side until I got out, but it was the other photo I sent that got my attention and made me take a photo.
Stop ICE abuse.
Yeah.
Whatever this town
so
is.
I saw that, and I was looking around for ICE in this small town, but I didn't see any ICE agents. So I don't know.
More ICE
But I
agents.
just thought it was interesting that this town did not follow all the rules about COVID, and they did not care if you wore a mask, and they didn't mandate people to take shots. And I thought that was kind of interesting, the correlation. Or not maybe correlation, but yeah.
More ICE.
It
Right
is
on,
in
William.
the,
Thanks.
it is in the middle of nowhere, I will tell you that. This place is in the middle of nowhere.
I didn't say. So don't worry, I'm not doxing. You don't have to dox. Because I think this is the town name. All right, sir. William, can you call me again?
I will, Nick. God bless you, and God bless everybody, and I'm out.
Of course. Back at you. Thanks. 888-775-3773. Um, 888-775-3773. Let's see here. I'm thinking, how do we do this? How we do this? I mean, we could probably bunch all these stories together here. It's kind of cultural. Think about this for a moment. Talk about imagery and scenes of the borders, of the intra-cultural, racial, etc. borders in America, right? Those like undefined, not on any map, borders that exist between people, so to speak. No more borders, right? Let's hold hands. Bring down that wall. But, these borders are like what? There's sometimes language barriers. There's a number of them. Okay? They are, just sometimes you see it in the like architecture stuff of a place. How does a nation deal with suicides at the Golden Gate Bridge? Kind of morbid. Just a little morbid, I must say. Golden Gate Bridge, you might be familiar with. It's an old bridge, no? Like, I remember looking at that bridge. That's got this brand new netting since the second half of 2025. Just too many people flinging themselves off of it, Average of 30 a year. That was too much. Put up the nets. Put up the ugly. Are those ugly? Are those like, welcome to Suicide America? Welcome to Suicide USA. We have nets on the bridges. It's like 30 a year, guys. Come on. Okay, there's a bunch of, what I mean? Those are puny numbers. I'm not saying get those numbers. I'm just saying, are we overreacting a bit? Look, I'm just messing around a little bit. It's a terrible thing. This actual concept. its increase in America. I mean, there are a number of pressure points that are just absolutely ignored. You get all sorts of, every group gets all sorts of help. They even just talk about them at least, right? A lot of just fanfare. So we care about you. There's this invisible boot pressure on certain areas of American life that are just what's the word? Like you just have to accept. There's no relief, and I'm not surprised. What's the word? It correlates that you have such a nation, kind of like you got people in the nation just wanting to check out. You understand? What are these pressures? I mean, these pressures at the home, pressures in the schools. There's pressures against the men, the young men. Because who's killing themselves? Okay, the attempts are the women, but the ones killing themselves are the men. Suicides were frequent at the Golden Gate Bridge, not anymore. Got to think of a different way, America. But I wonder what sort of architecture is there in Japan, if it exists. That I hear about a high suicide rate. They call it the suicide forest out there. But anyways, look. Different cultural. We're talking about things that are signify. Call it markers, bellwethers, cultural borders. I don't know. The bathroom is definitely one of them. Okay. The bathroom, our bathroom ritual. For many, the final bastion of privacy in the USA. And what you do in the bathroom, okay, and I'm talking, okay, listen, they call them bidets, folks. They call them bidets. Let me see, let me pull it up. And the Islamists, they're like, these people are disgusting. These American type people are absolutely disgusting. I think does this guy swear in this one? I forget.
Yet, they still haven't figured out that when you go to the bathroom, they're still wiping themselves with paper. All this advancement, think about how advanced they've become. They're trying to go to Mars. They're trying to take over Saturn. They're trying to do all...
Really? Saturn? I didn't know that.
This stuff. Their cars are trying to be self-driven. Yet when they go to do the most lowest form of human nature, the call of...
Why do you got to judge it? Why do you got to judge it? You're going to have a bad time in the bathroom every time. It's the lowest form. It's concentrated evil coming out the back of you. It's like, calm down. Just like, don't think about it.
Nature. They are still wiping themselves and cleaning themselves with paper. They're uncivilized. Do not be tricked and deceived.
Who's uncivilized in the chat? I think y'all uncivilized.
By their technology. Do not be tricked and deceived by their philosophies and their westernizations and their ideas. At the end of the day, they are still backwards. Allah has sent us to these nations to civilize them. That's what
that made me jump. Sorry. No, we have bidets. People in America have bidets. You guys have bidets? Okay, some of you guys are see beyond it, right? You're like, okay, I am of the future. I am a modern man. I will use the bidet. I will not, and I know I'm not going to be scared because the Islamists are using it against us. Some of you are unmoved by this. Others are entrenched deeper. They're like, I'm wiping with more paper.
the reason
I'm using paper till I die now.
They don't want you to be successful is because they're jealous of what you have.
You have bidets.
The Christians jealous of what you have. Their nations, their religions are dying. So what they had to do, they had to change their religion.
He kind of owned that one, but like that's they get a big like ego about it. Like it's not partly like it's not like a. Let me not say much, okay? Because look, they're whatever they've captured, they've done it. So credit where credit's due. What a mess. So this is just the thing that's coming up. It keeps popping up. It was Mamdani's putting a bidet in the mayor's mansion over there, Gracie Mansion in New York. It's a different America, right? I don't know. They're billing this as like this progress. It's modern. It's the backwards people got the toilet paper. The bidets are modern. These backwards U.S. people are left behind. But I knew old nonna with bidets in their homes, and then their children, and then the children of their children, their homes did not have bidets. So I don't know. I don't know, folks. Is it new? Is it old? They're trying to divide us over it. Okay? If it's not race, if it's not language, if it's not all this stuff, politics, it's the bathroom. Is that true, Thor Mode? Can you say that with authority? Oh, cool. So you can splash your poop all over the bathroom. Can you say that with authority, Thor Mode? Are we blocking ourselves from a cleaner future because we got a problem with Mamdani? All right, folks. Last few minutes of the show. Robert, Kansas. How you doing, sir?
Oh, hey, Nick. I just use my hand. So
You're a classic man.
yeah, and I'm glad you see climate change is fake. That's good, bro. That's a good first step.
You said that it's fake?
Yeah, it's not real, man. There's no anthropogenic climate change. That's ridiculous.
What's anthropogenic climate change?
It just means human caused.
Oh.
Yeah.
But you got to admit the ice is melting, and you got to believe that. Because like the people with the money and the countries who want to invest and build things are saying that, not the scientists.
Well, yeah, I mean, if sea levels were going to rise, I mean, you would have no investment in places like Florida or the nation of England. They would know it'd be underwater in 10 years. There's no way that they would invest in those places. So they know it's not going to rise.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have this right. It seems like the same people we're talking about, those with wealth, etc., those movers and shakers, they're investing in those properties you're talking about, and they're also investing in Arctic Circle trade routes that are set to open due to melting ice, due to what they're calling climate change, but I guess maybe you could call something else. But yeah, I mean, I tend to believe that.
Speaking of Greenland, right? You saw the Trump speech at Davos, how he went in with Greenland. If Trump would just do what he said in that speech, I would love Trump, but I don't think he will. That's my problem with Trump is he's all talk, and he will not do all the great things he talked about in that speech.
You think so?
Well, I don't know. We'll see if he takes Greenland and he puts the TechNate map together, then it would secure North America's future. But I have my doubts that he's just all talk, like his first term, just all talk and ends up being terrible for, the people on the ground. So
in what way, if you can remind me?
Well, as far as the first term, he, let BLM riot. He locked us down for a fake pandemic and just totally did what the globalists would have America do. And so he seems to be a double agent where he says that he's America first, but that could be doublespeak. It could be America gets destroyed first.
And why do you say could be? It sounds like you think. It sounds like it's also possible that he is being America first, etc.
Well, yeah, like Hitler in Germany, right? So Hitler was a double agent where he set up the nation of Germany to be destroyed, where he
I understand what a double agent is, but I asked you about Trump. You could tell me about Hitler. I mean, look, I asked you about Trump. I mean, what is it like? You said maybe he could be a double agent or not. Are you thinking that his actions also signify that it's possible that he's like a good president? To be succinct,
if he
you're saying it's
Greenland,
like it's still up in the air. You're saying. Can you express that? Can you explain that to me?
I think it's more like I hope it's up in the air than I think it is, because he has never done anything he said he would do. He can't even build a wall on the border.
And yet it's up in the air. The reason I'm on that is because the things you've. It's fine to bring them up. I mean, like in my opinion, just responding if I may. Look, the things you brought up, BLM, the lockdown. I think the reason you're saying, you tell me if I'm wrong, that I think the reason you say he could be a double J, he could be a terrible president, whatever, is because all those things you mentioned, it's not cut and dry like that. It's not like he wanted BLM to riot the way they did. It's not like he wanted to lock us down, and you know these things. That's not the full story.
Well,
is that fair to say about you? Is that why you're saying maybe?
No, I just still have an ounce of hope, is why I say maybe or could, or that I would like for him to actually do what he says. But he just has proven thus far that he will not arrest the people who need to be arrested. The only people he put in prison was the January 6th folks. So he set them up and left them in prison. He could have pardoned them. He didn't. So it's just this thing where he's my president of our nation. So I want to continue to have some just penance or whatever the word is, just some sort of hope that maybe he will do the right thing. But
the things you mentioned are deal breakers, but yet you don't believe them. But this is the interesting thing to me, because you said things that if they were true, how could you ever hold any hope? How could you ever sit back and think, well, you know what, he's still my president, he's still doing a good job, because the truth is you do think he's doing a somewhat good job.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because how could you think, if you're leaving some doubt to the things you said, then it means maybe you're looking at it wrong. Because if you really believe those things, how could you ever leave any hope and think, you know what, he's still my, like the things you said. Those sound like terrible things. That only like a villain who is harboring ulterior motives would do. I don't believe such a thing, and it doesn't sound like you do either.
Yeah.
Am I getting this wrong?
He's the president, bro. I mean, that's my only option right now, is that he might do something right, but if he can't even build the wall, that's what he ran on, and he won't even do that. I mean, it is hard to keep the faith and have hope and continue to maybe, have a good outlook on the future of our nation. But at the same time,
you to do all that? That sounds like what losers do. Keep the faith, hold on to hope.
Yeah.
Why don't we just look at reality? How about this? Let's come back to reality.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a question for you. Yes or no? Has Trump been a positive or negative for the immigration issue in America? Or I guess that's not yes or no. Has he been a positive or negative, net positive for immigration issue in America?
Oh, he said Americans are dumb and we need to import.
So has he been a positive or negative to the issue?
Neither. He says that we need to import the Indians and Asians that can do the work that Americans can't, because it's been neither. He's been just like Obama, just like Bush, just like Clinton. He is following the same line. He has great rhetoric, and he says all the right things that make me hopeful, like you were saying. But if he doesn't do something, like if he doesn't take Greenland, and he said he was
immigration.
going to.
First net negative in 50 years. First net negative immigration. First president to preside over that.
Well, net negative in illegal immigration.
No. Nope. You're wrong about that. All of it.
Okay, well, I hope I'm wrong.
You are wrong about that.
All right.
Because we're talking net. Yes or no, or what is it? What's the question? Has Trump been? Has Trump helped white genocide? Yes or no?
No, I think he has done nothing but embolden the enemies of whites, which includes first and foremost the Jews, which have brainwashed the blacks and the rest.
Well, yes
of
or no,
the
though?
nation.
Has he been a? Has the question was? Has he? I guess helped the issue of white genocide? Yes or no?
Absolutely not. He has
So why
not
do you
done
say?
anything because he just hasn't, man. He's if anything, he has created a more emboldened coalition of those that would be anti-white to get the Jewish construct and order that every other race needs to be against white people, regardless of that race. He has emboldened them to be an example of the white man who looks like a white man but is serving the satanic Jew that seeks to destroy the people, the white people.
I just realized you don't really care about white genocide or like the disposition of America, or if I'm trying to just summarize kind of these big topics, but we're on the same page. I realize you don't really care about them, and here's why. You're calling the first halfway tough action from a president on the issues you want and on the topics you want dealt with. You're calling the first halfway, and I see him as a strong guy, so his halfway must be pretty strong. But look, you're calling it, because he's not like going door to door deporting people, right? You're calling the first halfway true tough action on these topics that we care about, and you're looking at the backlash and you're saying, wow, that's Trump's fault. Like as if that wasn't always there. And that was obviously how they're going to react to tough action. And the tougher the action, the more they're going to react because, hello, Robert, they hate white people. So I realize you don't really care about the topic because should it get tougher, you're going to cry harder.
Yeah.
You're going to say, this is Trump's fault. Look at how he's making them mad to hate us more. Buddy, wake up. They've always hated you. They've been hating America, white people, English, etc. Wake up.
Okay, Nick. Well, I'm doing my best, and if he does put together the technate map and does the right things to make the nation strong, then he does. But if he doesn't, then he doesn't. The dollar is collapsing. The Bretton Woods Agreement is going away. And we do have to take Venezuela. We do have to take Greenland, Colombia, Mexico, Canada. We do have to take them. Otherwise, nations like China and Russia are going to supersede us soon. And we will be...
Says you. Wait,
yeah. Well, no, we just got to we got to either take over or be destroyed. And I just hope that...
You're saying Bretton Woods, it's ending... You're doing all the cries that the world is doing right now. Bretton Woods is ending. The rules-based order is ending. Don't you see Don't you see that Trump is at the forefront of that? What I'm trying to say is, while everybody else is catching up, and crying about it, he's already changed.
Okay, but you see why Greenland's so important is that the Earth is flat, right?
Why?
No, that's why. If you look at Greenland, it's right in the middle. If you look at flight paths, Nick, I know you're a pilot.
Hey.
You look at how flights move, and you can see that obviously we don't live on a globe spinning in space, taught to you from birth. And that is why Greenland is so important. It's right in the middle of the map.
Hey, it's kind of in the middle for both models. So on this one,
in the middle of the sphere,
we have to debate.
Hey,
sort of. No, not the middle of the sphere, but the middle of the nations as they exist.
Yeah, where's the middle of the sphere,
no,
Nick?
You're missing it. You're missing it.
Yeah,
you're missing it.
I think you missed math.
No, you're missing it because
you don't know.
No, you're missing it because what's on this sphere? This sphere is not a bare sphere. This sphere
has
nations
sphere.
on it, and these. Right, you don't believe that, but you're saying
you're
calling me dumb.
No.
You're trying to say I'm dumb because
I am calling you dumb.
Wait, hold on. I know, but you're calling me dumb because I'm saying the center of the world is that. I'm saying that we agree that although the center of the world is actually closer to the Middle East on the globe, but that's a different topic. We're saying that on the flat end of round Earth model, we don't really disagree here. Greenland is pretty central. You're laughing at me because you're saying there is no center to a sphere. But, buddy, if you forgot, on this sphere, I believe that on this sphere there are nations, there are these countries. I'm thinking of the center point between those nations.
Nick, you are either dumb or you're an agent of the current government. I'm not sure which one.
Because it's a globe, or because of what I said of the centrality of Greenland?
Well, you either believe.
Do you
NASA
deny the centrality of
Greenland?
Greenland? Yes or no, flat earther Robert?
Deny the centrality of Greenland? It's in the center of the flat
of the
Earth
Arctic
map.
Circle?
Yes. Bring up a flat Earth map and look at where Greenland is, and you will see why it's so strategically important.
I went over the flat earther's head, man. You'll have to do your homework. You know how you leave me homework? You'll have to really look within, Robert, and see what I meant by that one.
No, I don't do homework. I don't.
Call
do
me again,
homework.
Robert.
Okay, dummy. Bye.
All right, bye, flat earther. I love you too, Robert. Folks, I can't get to all of you. That's it. Let me check here real quick. Thank you so much for the support. Super chats, thank you. Buy me a coffee, thank you. Buymeacoffee.com/anchor, baby. All of my amazing supporters, thank you for that. Back-to-back super chats there from someone. Well, coffees. Incredible. Greenland is absolutely the center between all nations. It's a well-known view of the world. It's called the geocentric theory. Thank you, John 3 of 3 over there on Rumble. It's like, oh, there's no center to the sphere, dummy. You believe it. I'm talking about what's on that sphere, baby. What's on the surface of the sphere, the real things. The real things. The rocks, the geography, the people on those rocks. All right, folks. Hope you enjoyed yourselves. Take care. More American Anchor, baby. Friday style tomorrow. That's Open Line Friday on the JLP Show, the Hake Report, and, of course, the Fallen State. Take care. See you tomorrow. Peace. Bye.
The views, information, thoughts, and opinions expressed during this show are the individual's own and do not represent the views, thoughts, and opinions of the JLP Network or Bond. Their appearance on the program does not imply an endorsement of them or any entity they represent. The material and information presented here is for general information purposes only. The JLP Network and Bond name and all forms and abbreviations are the property of its owner, and its use does not imply endorsement of or opposition to any specific organization, product, or service.